Hello there, Merman here. Today I would like to talk about my experience with Arktober. For those who don't know, Arktober is an Arknights version of Inktober, a drawing challenge where everyone draws every single day in October. For context, I've been drawing on and off for the past few years, and this is my first time joining this kind of challenge. In this video, I'll be talking through some of my drawings and just explain my thought process on how I combine both Inktober and Arktober prompts together. With that being said, let's look into some of my highlights of my Arktober journey. Let's start with day 2. Initially, I wanted to draw Flametail, weaving and dodging, but then I remembered that it's actually not a horse. So instead, my idea was drawing Blemishine, her hair braided. Braiding is a form of weaving, so I thought it was a really good idea, and I found this really good reference for the braid. My initial sketch was pretty clean, and I really like how the face looks like. But I did struggle a lot with getting the arm position correctly, especially the hands. Afterwards, I did some simple shading, and the yellow background was an inspiration from this art I found online. Overall, I'm proud that I'm able to translate my initial idea well, so I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Moving on to day 4, Murky was a hard prompt to think about, and in the end, I settled with murky weather. I don't normally draw backgrounds, so it was pretty fun to figure out what colors to choose and how to paint it. For the Flinger prompt, I decided to draw Rosmontis on top of some buildings, just like how she did in chapter 7. I learned a lot when trying to draw the buildings, especially how values look. I was a bit lazy trying to make Rosmontis look cooler, but I think it still works out in the end. I love this part where I added a bit of lighting. I think it really elevates the drawing a lot. Overall, I'm quite happy with this one too, and giving it also a 7 out of 10. Next up is day 14. For the shredded prompt, my idea was initially trying to draw some shredded cheese or shredded paper, but I couldn't think of any ideas that really work with it. So instead, I just went to something simpler, shoe with some shredded abs. The initial sketch and line art phase was pretty smooth, so I was confident to move on with coloring. For this one, I really needed help with some references, and I found this really good reference that helped me render the muscles and abs. I used a lot of blending and multiply layers, and somehow it turns out really good. And this is probably my best art of the entirety of Arktober. 9 out of 10. A big jump to day 25, and this day was a bit simpler. Ursus and Inferno, who other than drawing Kalula. Looking back at this time-lapse, the face is really bad here, but thankfully I was able to fix it later on. The overall pose I copied over from this reference. After putting in some base colors, I moved on to the fire, and thanks to my friend, I was able to make the fire much more aggressive, which genuinely elevates the art so much. Thanks to some overlay layers, I was able to create some lighting effect from the fire, and overall, this is an 8 out of 10 for me. Finally, we move on to the last day, day 31. As a Sleep Knights player, I thought it would be fitting for me to draw Iris as the last prompt. Towards the end of this challenge, I felt a lot of fatigue, so I didn't want to think too much for this drawing. I found this good reference for my idea, and I just added a trophy next to it. I wish I drew the trophy better, but at least the coloring on the trophy is really nice. Overall, I wish I drew Iris's hair slightly darker, but I'm still very proud and satisfied with my final drawing for this year's Arktober. Solid 7.5 out of 10. And that's the end of my time lapses. If you're wondering about the rest of Arktober, here's a quick look of my other drawings. I would like to give a huge thanks to Spring Can for hosting this year's Arktober. They have hosted Arktober since 2020. Also a huge thanks to Saya and Dan. You guys are seriously goated and talented artists. I really love Saya's painting and rendering skills, and Dan's understanding of anatomy and animation is just so immaculate. Also an extra special thanks to Feline. You've been incredibly helpful throughout this challenge. I really appreciate all your advice and support. Lastly, I also like to give a shout out to the LD community server. Seeing many people participate in Arktober there was really motivating, and overall just a lovely time being here. And that wraps up my Arktober journey for this year. Thank you all for watching till the end. This was my first time doing this style of video and my first time doing voiceovers, so I was really scared, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this one, and I hope I can make more of this in the future. Here's the time lapse for my thumbnail. Hope you guys enjoy. That's all for me today. See you on the next one.